Hi class. So I've got this single page, HTML5 page, made of 3 PHP scripts working together. I've got my index that includes a page data class, creates an object out of it, and sets a title property of that object and a content property also of that object, and moves on to load and include once a page template. The page template will replace these placeholders object properties with actual values from the object created in index. So the page will be born with a title, with a single style sheet, with some content, and possibly with JavaScripts. I'd like to make a dynamic navigation. So I'd like to move from the single page created here to a proper site. As I like to keep things encapsulated, I like to keep things separate, I'll create a new view file called navigation.php, and this will hold my entire global persistent navigation. I'm going to use a nav element with a bunch of anchors, each with an href of some value. Oh, let's go with, that's one too many. Let's go with 3 different anchors. One for home, one for contact me, one for, I don't know, quiz. No matter which navigation item is clicked, I want to be loading index.php, and I want to set a page variable to hold some value that indicates which page to load. So home, contact, quiz, for example. So navigation is saved. I return to my index, and I'd like to see my navigation at the very top of my file. So I'm gonna append it to my content before anything else. And I can simply do that by including it. I need to include it because it's kept in a separate file, and I can store the content I get back from navigation because it returns. So this string will be returned to wherever it's included from. So use navigation.php. Let's take a look at that. Here we are. Got a couple of menu items I can click. Nothing much happens except the URL changes. I continue to load index, but the value of the page variable will change to quiz, contact, home. And I'd like to use that. Let's just check if there is a page variable. You know, the first time a user sees my site, possibly it'll just be by requesting index.php. I can't be absolutely certain that there is a page variable. And by default, I'd like to show the home page. And then if some other page is clicked, I'd like to show that. So navigation was clicked. I create such a variable, and that will simply look in the super global array get for a variable of the name page. And if such a variable is found, my navigation was clicked variable will be true. If no page was found, it will be false. So if a user loads just index.php, that variable will be false. But if a user loads index.php page equals contact, well, then my navigation was clicked will be true. And if navigation was in fact clicked, then I'd like to load a view, and it should be whatever view is indicated by that page variable. If navigation was not clicked, I'd like to load my home view. So let's just show that. PHP will soon load $view.php from the views folder. Let's try that. If the navigation was clicked, I'd like to load the view indicated by the page variable. If not, I'd like to include home, and at this point I'm not really including it. I'm just echoing out a simple string to see what view will be loaded. See, when the page is contact, then PHP will soon load contact.php from the views folder. And if I click quiz, we'll soon load quiz.php from the views folder, and so on. And if I have no page variable, I'd like to see home.php. Perfect. So my variable view works exactly as I'd like it to. I'm going to create a new file for my home view and call it home.php, and simply return, say an h1 or whatever. This is home. I'm going to make a similar view for my, what was that, quiz. This is quiz. Oh, 2 PHP tags. And another similar view for, oh, did I call it contact? I think so. This is contact. There's an E missing there. Alright, 3 separate views created in 3 separate files. Let's see. Oh, I haven't changed my index, so nothing changes. I need my index not just show a basic string here, but to include once whatever I get back when I look inside the views folder for a file with a name that corresponds either to the value of my page variable or to home. Let's try that. So this is home, this is contact, this is quiz. Actually, I'd like to get rid of this template. Is now encapsulated. Where did I put that? In line 7 of my index. There we are. That is a very basic dynamic site. If I want to add a new page, I'd have to add a navigation item to my navigation.php and a new view file for that. Anything I want to display in a particular page, I could simply write with good old-fashioned hard-coded static HTML. Stuff goes here. So that's a very basic PHP site with a dynamic navigation. The content is completely static, but well, on your sites that'll certainly change, and I'll do some video tutorials on that as well. So see you after Easter.